This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition. Well, we got a service call on a walk-in freezer. Interesting. It looks like, look at the insulation's all frozen. And if you look in the coil, it's all frozen right in the middle right there. So let's head up to the roof. It might be in a defrost. Let's go see. All right, so walk-in freezer, emergency service call. It's 6:04 p.m. Thursday, September 25th. So this is my walk-in freezer. Let's see. Walk-in freezer is system B. This one right here. So it says it's in defrost right now. Let's get an amp clamp on here and see if we're actually sending power down to the, I'm unwinding my meter right now one-handed, so bear with me here. If we go to wire number 3, right here. Okay, so that's not good. When we're in defrost and the red light's on, we should have current at the number 3 terminal. So what we're gonna do right here is put this right here and we'll see. So this is a DT-AV40 defrost clock, okay? I don't have a schematic right here, but essentially N and 1 right there, just like that, is power to the clock, 205 volts, that's good. And then N and 4 is refrigeration mode. That's good because it's in defrost and it's off. N and 3 is defrost, and we have 205 volts going down to the evaporator coil, but we do not have any current on the number 3 wire, which is not a good sign. There's a problem there. So let's go ahead and head downstairs to the evaporator coils and see what's up there. So there's no sense in really much else. I'm gonna make the defrost last longer just so we can diagnose it and it doesn't try to pop out or anything, okay? And I'll make sure I change that before I leave. The walk-in freezer compressor's in here. See, it's iced up all the way back to the suction line accumulator. Okay, so let's head downstairs like I said. All right, so this evaporator's all iced up, so let's come up here. We should have power at 3 and N. 3 is right there. N is, where is N? 3, oh, N's up there. All right, so if we go here, right there, in here, we have 204 volts power at 3 and N. But if we go to the heater wire, oh, wait, we have 1 amp now. Why did we not have any amps up there? We have 1 amp. Wait, 1 amp is too little for these guys. Let's go, let me get on these other wires in here, something's up. So we want to follow this schematic right here, but it's like all worn out, so I'm just using this one. But this one's gonna be a little different because this one has an electrical contactor for the defrost heaters, which we're not gonna have. But essentially, I mean, we can kind of see it here. So power comes out of 3, comes down, over, goes through a heater safety switch, all right, then goes back to N basically. So that heater safety switch may or may not be a problem, or our common, the N wire, comes back through here and goes through a fan delay defrost termination switch. Now it's not terminating defrost, but, well, no, the fan delay shouldn't be affecting the heaters, though, so that's the thing. Well, it could be, I guess. But let's start with the heater safety. So if we go between 3 and it looks like H1. 3 and H1 will be checking across the heater safety. Let's see what we have on 3 and H1. All right, so if we take this meter and I put it up here for you, you can see it now. And I'm going to go between 3 and H1. Okay, do you hear that popping? There's, a minute ago I checked it, I had 6 volts. Now I don't have anything, but there's something popping in the back. That heater safety. So let's go between 3 and N again. No. Yeah. Oh, that's X, duh. That's why. X and N. You see, we still have 204 volts. So we're sending power down here, but it's not going through this thing properly. So this heater safety. So if we go to H1, yeah, see, we're getting 2 volts right now. It just made another pop. That heater safety is not working right. Let's go to the heater now. Yeah, something's wrong in that. Okay, so.
Can I borrow this for a second?
No, I'm kind of leaning on it right now. Sorry.
I'll get another one.
Yeah, the heaters aren't even warm at all because they're barely getting any voltage. Yeah, heaters aren't, I mean, they're just like lukewarm. So again, between N and 3, I've got 201 volts between N and 3. Okay? You know you can't see it, but you're gonna have to trust me. There. So N and 3. $203 volts. Okay, so that's power. Then it's going from 3 down. I'm just tracing the wires right now. Okay, that's the wire from up top going to 3. I see that. So we've got 208 volts or 202 volts going to 3 and N, and then it comes out of N through this red wire right here. It's a jumper wire that goes down to here. Right, so from 3 to H2, I've got 202 volts, 203 volts, right? So that means that's the neutral, and then from H1 to H2, see, that's really interesting. I have 202 volts going to the heaters? That doesn't make sense. What the heck is going on here? Is there something popping back here though? I know there is. It's bizarre though. What the heck is going on? This is so odd. I'm getting proper current on the heater wire now. I swear I think that limit switch is messed up because it's like it just started working. So if we come up here, 2 amps. Oh, it's still 1 amp though, that's weird. I mean, I guess it's just a drain pan heater, so that's just probably how it is, but this other coil heater though is only 1 amp. That's odd. Because it's the same. Oh, there's 2 more sets of heaters. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 heaters on this. So 1 amp is right. Yeah. That's gonna be okay. Interesting. Okay, let's go up top. It's defrosting. But it's weird though because the heaters weren't even hot a second ago, right? They're hot as crap now. I can't touch them anymore. So what just happened? Like, I swear that limit switch is messed up.
All right, let's go up top and check it out up there.
Yeah, definitely. See, we're getting 6 amps up here now. We were getting nothing when we first got here on this number 3 wire. So pretty confident it's a bad limit switch, because I heard some popping and crackling in the back. I'll investigate all the wire connections down there, but I turned off power right now so we can get a water hose and defrost it. Then we'll bypass the limit switch and then flip it back on.
So weird. Like, this was solid ice, and just in those last few moments, the heater started working and it started defrosting. Anyways, we got the power shut off. We're gonna get this ice all melted in here. All right, got that side defrosted and put back together. This side already defrosted. And you always got to look into these cabinets over here. A little bit of ice can turn out to be a problem eventually, so we got to get it all. All right, we got the limit switch pulled out. It's right here. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's bad. It's a newer style. This is really odd, this problem. I even went and rewatched the footage, and I'm like, no, like my diagnosis, it's what I saw. So we were sending power down here. We had power down here, but we had no current on the number 3 wire. Yeah, it's really odd. Really odd. But anyways, I pulled the limit switch out. We'll be back. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else it could be. I mean, it's still like, it's kind of an odd one. Huh. Well, also, I'm in the hood, so, you know, gotta have some protection here because we can't carry real protection here. So, some snowballs just in case there's an issue outside, you know? It's getting kind of dark. Alright, well, yeah, I'm gonna think about this one for a bit, but let's head up top.
All right. Let's see. 724. About there. All right, we're gonna start it in refrigeration mode. Let it get cold for a few minutes. Since I warmed it up, she's running. We're gonna give it a few minutes, make sure it gets cold and stuff, and then we'll throw it into a defrost, make sure it stays in defrost, and then we'll probably get out of here. Sight glass is clear. We're good on that. That sight glass is clear. Deer walking sight glass looks to be clear. I saw like a bubble maybe. Could be pumping down though. Oh, it's off. That's why. It's just so that's funny. I assumed it was on. Yeah, it's pumped down. That's why I'm seeing the bubble. There's just liquid trapped between that receiver going all the way through the liquid line and liquid line solenoid valve, which is down at the TXV. So that liquid line solenoid valve is closed, so we're just backed up with liquid, and you're just seeing little bubbles go through it every once in a while. See if I can show you guys here. Look at that sight glass. Zoom in right there. Hold on. Liquid moving around inside of it. Moving around, boiling off, something. Interesting. All right, we're still running with a clear sight glass. Hot discharge. It's cooling off outside. We're just going into fall. Still having hot days. It was like 90 something today. It's gonna be like 60 tonight. We'll kind of bounce around there and then gravitate between 75 to 85 for most of the fall. Is our typical weather, at least. Oil sight glass is good. See if I can get you guys a little visual. There you go. It's a little above half, just below 3/4. So cool. All right, we're gonna put this on, go downstairs and see what it looks like. It's a tiny little freezer, so can't be any more than 5 feet wide or deep or whatever. But fans are running good. Everything seems fine with that. Moving the right amount of air. So let's head up top. It's getting cold in here, so I want to throw it into defrost and make sure the defrost all works. All right, threw it in defrost, and we're pulling current. So I'm pretty happy with that. We're gonna go ahead and take it out of defrost, set it back in operation. It is 7:35, so I gotta reset this time. many people's hearts do I break when I turn the clock from the outside? I swear people get triggered by that so much. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a thing, but like, I feel like I understand they say to rotate it from there, but there's times when that thing skips. And, you know, like these, I don't see any problem as long as you're not going crazy rotating it from the outside, but I know it trigger a lot of people with that. But, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, 7:35. Let's see. We need 45-minute defrost. Normally we do halves here, 30-minute defrost. But this restaurant, I don't know. I got a weird feeling they're propping the door open. So 7:35. So we're gonna order the limit switches and then come back and follow up and see if everything's working okay. All right, well, we are back. Customer said since I was here last time, it's been working great. It's actually cold as you know what in here. I guess the employees have been complaining it's too cold, but I don't think it's too cold. They said no, it's fine. It's been working better than ever. So we've got some new limit switches for this guy. So it's probably in defrost right now. We're gonna head up top, check that out, and then get down here and get these limit switches changed out. All right, we come up and it is in defrost right now because it's noon and we're pulling current unlike the last time. So that's a good sign. So we're gonna shut off power and we're gonna head down and get those limit switches changed out. First thing that we're doing is checking to make sure there's no power because we shut it off on the roof. We good to go, all right? And then now we're going to, there's two 5/16 screws on the front of that electrical panel. Yeah, those two right there, remove those and that whole panel will pull out of your way. And then you'll be okay. So what is black going to?
On your F1.
F1, that's one side of your fans. Okay, so let's think about this. Red is going to end, that's line 2 from the defrost clock, right? That is a defrost termination and a fan delay switch, okay? So that's what powers your fan off of temperature. So when you, basically the coil has to get cold enough for that clicks on to close and take line 2 and send it to the other side of your fans. So one side of your fans is coming from 4, the other side is going through that limit switch, and that's why there's a delay when we turn it on. And where's the brown wire going to? It should be going to X.
Oh.
Okay, so if it gets too hot in the box, there's 2 safety devices. There's a heater safety, which is the one that failed that I had you change, and there is a what am I saying here? There's a heater safety. Oh, and there's a defrost termination. So if the heater safety fails, then the heaters don't turn on. If the defrost termination closes, what it does is send power up to the X terminal on the defrost clock, and it kicks it out of defrost. So if you ever have a defrost clock when the coil's too hot, if you try to put it in defrost, it'll go green, then it'll go red, and then it'll go back to green on the LED light. That's the defrost termination switch kicking it out. So what you're doing is doing that. Now, that switch didn't fail, but we change our limit switches in a pair. We change them together just because the failure rate on them is super high, so we always change them in a pair. Okay. Yeah. So the heater safety failed. So in theory, if you think about it logically, the heater safety wasn't letting the heaters turn on, but the defrost termination wasn't clicking it out.
Right.
It's redundant safeties, and the heater safety, the defrost termination should have kicked it out of defrost before the heater safety opened. So the heater safety just wasn't letting the heaters come on, so it was just a bad switch.
Yeah.
So, okay, so go ahead and wire the brown where the other one was, and then the black. Okay, so we're coming over here. We're just verifying all the limit switch wires are tight. They are, because we were having some issues with them, but they're nice and good now. So that's good. Limit switches back here. They're both in place. They're nice and flat like they should be, secured. Last time I moved this ground wire because it was touching the heater, so we moved that up. That's good. Tiny little bit of ice in there. There's nothing wrong with that. Would have melted during defrost. Coil doesn't look iced up. Come around to the back side. Looks good. All right, at this point, I want you to go ahead and go downstairs. Are you down there? Yeah, let's go ahead and go downstairs, or go upstairs, okay. Turn it on, and wait for my call.
All right.
So we're gonna wait and make sure that the fans have a delay. They should, and in all actuality, he's gonna start it in defrost right now, and it's probably gonna terminate out of defrost right away. The green light turn on?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. The fans are not running, that is good. We want the coil to get cold enough before the fans turn on.
So we're gonna let it get cold, and then I'm gonna have you initiate another defrost as soon as the fans turn on after a few minutes, and then we'll verify that the heaters are working, and then we should be good to go. So I'll call you back in just a minute. All right, the fans are working. We're gonna let it get cold for a second, and then I'm gonna have him initiate another defrost. It didn't take long, the fans are on now. So I'm gonna have it run for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna have him initiate a defrost again, and we're gonna verify that everything's good. All right, so we let it run for a bit. Now we're in defrost and we're good. So we've proved that both the limit switches are working, we're good to go, and all is well with this. Like I said, the customer's been stoked. It's been a couple days since I was last here. So put the panels on and we are gonna wrap this one up. That was kind of a tricky one. Like I already knew there was something with the limit switches somewhere, but like I really like to prove my theory, you know, and I couldn't duplicate the problem. I couldn't get it to do it again. But I even like reviewed the footage even when I was editing this, and I'm like, no, like I didn't have current, you know, and like it was kind of being a pain. But regardless, we were able to get the customer up and running. Again, understanding, I'm very familiar with walk-in freezers. So like I kind of already had a hunch, you know, when I was upstairs and I didn't sense current at the defrost clock. Now, something that I didn't address and I realized in editing that I should have pointed out is that that walk-in freezer, when it does go into defrost, that number 3 wire, it runs through a micro switch on the side of the compressor contactor that doesn't allow the heaters to turn on unless the contactor is disengaged, okay? So just keep that in mind. There is more than what I showed, you know, and a lot of times in these videos, things are happening in my brain, and sometimes I forget to articulate them because I don't have the intention of going in and filming, you know, and making a tutorial on what I'm doing here. So, and was there, I think there was something else that I noticed. Oh, the other thing I noticed too was towards the end of the video, I mentioned that using logic, the unit should have terminated defrost before the heater safety opened. Well, the defrost termination wasn't hooked up. So I guess I don't know why I didn't address it in the video, but if you look towards the end of the video, when I was looking at the defrost clock, there was a yellow wire going from the defrost clock down because I hooked up the defrost termination. So yeah, that was, I just didn't articulate it. But that wasn't the problem. The initial problem when we walked up was that the unit was in defrost, but the heaters were not energized. And then you saw me diagnose. And I heard like popping and crackling, so it had to be inside that limit switch. Something inside of that, not crackling, but like I heard like a pop sound when I was down at the electrical section. And yeah, whatever happened just turned the heaters on all of a sudden. So interesting, but we got the limit switches changed out and all was well. So thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. You know, I'm always looking for feedback. I truly am, right? I am not the best person. I'm just a normal guy. Just happen to film what I do, right? And I obviously have some issues in my head that, you know, whatever. So I'm able to vocalize as I'm working, and that's what these videos are. These videos started as a training aid for my employees, and obviously I know other people watch them now, so it's just how my brain works. That's what these videos are. So thanks so much for making it to the end. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel, the easiest way to do so is watch the videos from beginning to end. But you can also support the channel via PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of this video on how to do that. You can also go to my website, HVACRvideos.com, where we have hats like this one right here available on the website. Great way to help support the channel. My wife's the one that handles all the fulfillment. She does all that. And yeah, so it's awesome. And last but not least, go check out TrueTechTools.com. TrueTechTools.com is a great tool website, and I actually have an affiliate program set up with them. So if you find something that you like on their website, at checkout, there's a spot for you to enter a discount code or an offer code. Put my affiliate code, big picture, one word, okay, with no spaces. And when you do that and it goes through, because there's a few things the discount code doesn't apply to, or affiliate code, but for the most part, it applies to majority of the items on their website. But when it does go through, I get a nice commission from that, and you get a nice discount. So win-win. I really appreciate you making it to the end of the videos. Thank you so very much. You have feedback or anything, leave me some. Shoot me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. Always looking for feedback, criticism, whatever it may be. let me know. All right. I appreciate you and hope to catch you on the next one.